Losing everything, finding herself, Sophia never imagined her life could change so quickly. The daughter of a wealthy family, always surrounded by luxury and comfort, she believed that security and happiness were guaranteed. But within days, her reality crumbled. Her father was arrested for fraud, the family fortune evaporated, and friends she considered loyal disappeared. Sophia felt the ground give way beneath her feet, but even amidst the shock and pain, a spark of determination began to shine. She knew she had to fight back. The first lesson came with silent tears and nights of reflection. Value yourself regardless of what you had or lost. Sophia began to realize that what mattered was not material wealth, but her own inner strength, courage, and ability to rebuild. The loss of everything she had forced her to look within, to know herself, and to understand that she could create a new life, even starting from scratch. The fiancé she loved, Miguel, left her, exchanging her for another woman. The betrayal cut deep, but Sophia discovered that pain could also be transformed into a catalyst for growth. She decided she wouldn't allow herself to be a victim of circumstances and choices of others. Every tear she shed fueled her strength and determination to rise stronger than ever. Sophia had to relearn everything: how to manage money, how to take care of herself, and how to make decisions without relying on others. Every step, every small achievement, was a silent victory, reminding her that life doesn't end when we lose privileges or people, but when we give up believing in ourselves. Despite the abandonment of friends who were only there for status, Sophia found new bonds based on sincerity, support, and respect. These new connections made her understand that quality trumps quantity. True friends remain even when the world falls apart around us. Reflecting on all the events, Sophia realized that each loss also brought an opportunity to know herself, to value herself, and to rebuild a more genuine and meaningful life. She still felt pain, but a growing hope emerged, reminding her that the best was yet to come, and that each step taken was a preparation for better days. In the following months, Sophia began working on a small project she'd always dreamed of, opening an artisanal coffee shop. The path wasn't easy. Each challenge seemed to test her patience and resilience, but she discovered something transformative. When we face difficulties, we find abilities and strengths we never imagined we had. Each small professional achievement boosted his confidence and gave him a sense of purpose that previous luxury never provided. She also realized that rebuilding her life involves not just work, but emotional healing. Sophia invested in self-discovery, reading, therapy, and moments of introspection. Little by little, she began to feel whole, learning that true happiness comes from within and that dependence on status, possessions, or other people's approval doesn't define value or dignity. Connecting with clients, neighbors, and the people she helped with her work brought a sense of community and belonging to Sophia's life. Every smile she received, every spontaneous thank you, was a reminder that she could make a difference, regardless of where she started. This process strengthened not only her business, but also her self-esteem and confidence in her abilities. Throughout this journey, Sophia discovered that adversity had a purpose. Show that your inner strength was greater than any external loss. Every day, her life became more balanced, full, and meaningful, and she understood that true wealth lay in the courage to stand up, learn, and create something new. She also began inspiring others facing similar struggles by sharing her story and offering support. Sophia discovered that turning pain into action not only helps herself, but also sparks hope in others. This connection made her journey even more meaningful and rewarding. And as she walked confidently toward the future, Sophia began to realize that something unexpected was about to happen, an encounter that could change her life even further. But that would require courage, faith, and openness to new emotions. In the months following her family's downfall, Sophia had to face the reality Faith had no money, privileges, or connections to rebuild his life. Immediately, she found work as a maid in a small town inn, performing simple but essential tasks. Each day was a reminder that life required humility, effort, and perseverance, and that true value lay in her determination not to give up. At first, the routine was difficult, waking up early, dealing with physical fatigue, and adapting to a job completely different from what she had imagined. But even in this situation, Sophia discovered something powerful: honest work and daily dedication strengthened their self-esteem and resilience. Every tidy room, every satisfied customer became small, quiet victories, reminding her that she still had control over her life. As she adapted to her new reality, Sophia began to realize that life wasn't defined by what she lost, but by what she did with what remained. She learned to cherish every opportunity, every kind gesture, and every piece of advice from people who truly cared about her. Adversity showed her that inner strength and courage were the true treasures that no one could take away. Even in the face of distance and abandonment from friends and her fiancé who left her, Sophia found motivation in small daily achievements. She discovered that self-respect, determination, and faith in one's own ability to overcome challenge were fundamental to rebuilding his life. Each day of work, although tiring, was also a step toward independence and emotional freedom. Over time, Sophia began to notice internal changes. She became more patient, resilient, and aware of her own strengths. The pain of the past still lingered, but now it was tempered by the confidence that she could create something better for herself without relying on anyone else. Each day was a reminder that rebuilding your life isn't done overnight, but with persistence and courage. And as she continued her routine at the inn, Sophia began to feel that life still held unexpected encounters, surprising opportunities, and moments that could rekindle hope and transform her story in ways she had never imagined. Sophia soon discovered that working at the inn wouldn't be easy. Learning the routine from scratch, dealing with rules, schedules, and responsibilities seemed overwhelming at first. Each day brought a new challenge: tidying rooms, cleaning bathrooms, organizing the kitchen, serving demanding guests, and keeping a smile on her face, even when she felt tired and discouraged. But little by little, she realized that every obstacle was also an opportunity for growth. The biggest challenge, however, was the customers. Many were rude, complained for no reason, and tested her patience at every turn. Some arrived with impossible demands, others were rude and impatient. There were days when Sophia would return home exhausted, feeling like her efforts would never be recognized. But she remembered the lessons she had learned. Self-worth does not depend on the opinion of others, and every difficult experience could make you stronger. And there were those who hurt her even more unexpectedly. Acquaintances who had previously snubbed her in the school hallways or at social events now appeared as clients, pretending not to know her. Sophia felt the weight of the humiliation, but decided not to let it get her down. She responded with professionalism, kindness, and dignity, showing everyone that true strength lies in maintaining composure and serenity in the face of other people's contempt. With each passing day, Sophia learned to better handle difficult situations, control emotions, and transform frustration into learning experiences. She discovered techniques for organizing her work, prioritizing tasks, and serving clients attentively, even when they were unpleasant. Each challenge she overcame increased her confidence and reinforced that she was able to reinvent herself, even starting from scratch. Sophia also realized that her patience and empathy helped her gain respect. Some clients began recognizing her efforts, praising her dedication, and even asking for advice. This gave her a sense of achievement and proved that honest work and dedication attract recognition and strengthen self-esteem, even in the most unexpected places. At the end of each day, even though she was tired, Sophia felt proud of herself. Every challenge she faced and every difficult interaction were steps in her personal reconstruction. She understood that life rewards those who persist, even when all seems lost, and that each challenge overcome paved the way for even more significant moments to come. Sophia soon realized that her salary as a maid barely covered her basic needs. Every penny had to be counted, every expense carefully planned. The luxury and comfort of the past were gone, and now she faced the constant fear of not being able to pay the bills, buy enough food, or even save for emergencies. The feeling of vulnerability was intense, and some nights she lay in bed wondering if she would survive. Physical exhaustion mixed with emotional exhaustion, working long hours dealing with difficult clients, and still seeing that the money was barely enough to last the next month made Sophia feel the weight of everything she had lost. She remembered the parties, the dinners, and the stability her family once had. But instead of despairing, she took a deep breath and repeated to herself, "I can rebuild my life, even starting from scratch." Some days were especially cruel. There were arrogant clients who treated her with disdain, complaining about everything while she struggled to keep her cool. Past acquaintances who had ignored or mocked her when she was rich now looked down on her as if her menial job diminished who she was. Sophia felt shame, sadness, and anger. But she transformed these emotions into strength, showing dignity and professionalism, even when no one seemed to notice. The nights back in her small rented apartment were silent and filled with reflection. She learned to cook with what she had, to save money, and to find creative solutions to problems she never imagined facing before. Each small act of survival became a silent triumph, proof that her determination was greater than any hardship. Even with low pay and long hours, Sophia found moments of hope. The smile of a satisfied customer, the recognition of a coworker, or even the feeling of not giving up in the face of adversity gave her the energy to keep going. She realized that true wealth lay in the courage to get up day after day and continue fighting for one's future. Deep down, Sophia knew that every effort, every tear shed, and every moment of insecurity were necessary steps toward rebuilding her life. The pain of losing everything transformed into learning, resilience, and inner strength. And even when the world seemed too heavy, she began to see that better days were coming, ready to reward her perseverance and courage. Sophia felt the weight of reality when she realized that it was no longer possible to maintain the family car, which had once symbolized comfort and freedom. With a heavy heart, she made the difficult decision to sell it to help cover the expenses of the small apartment where her mother now lived. Moving to a neighborhood far from the city center and high society brought a feeling of separation from everything she knew and valued. Every step away from home, every ride on a crowded bus, reminded her that her life had changed forever. The popular bus, full of strangers, with its tight schedules and long commutes, became part of Sophia's daily routine. She felt ashamed of her own situation, remembering the luxury of the past and the freedom she had when driving her own car. But at the same time, she learned to find small moments of resilience, smiling at strangers, observing the city from a different perspective, and realizing that every sacrifice she made was for a greater purpose: rebuild your life and support your mother. Her mother, once surrounded by comfort, now needed help coping with the apartment's expenses and the feeling of having lost status and security. Sophia bravely took on the responsibility, preparing simple meals, organizing the apartment, and offering emotional support. Every gesture, no matter how small, became a symbol of love, strength, and solidarity. She discovered that true wealth lay in caring for those she loved, even in the face of adversity. With each bus ride, feelings of humiliation and frustration mixed with Sophia's quiet determination. There were days when the longing for the past hurt more intensely, and tears welled up as she held tightly to the handles of the crowded bus. But even in those moments, the young woman learned that adapting to reality and continuing to move forward is a way of overcoming oneself in a destiny that seemed unfair. In addition to financial and logistical difficulties, Sophia also had to deal with the stares of acquaintances who saw her on the bus or in the new neighborhood and treated her with disdain. Those who had previously respected her because of her family status now ignored her or pretended not to know her. Every gesture of contempt could have brought her down, but Sophia transformed humiliation into strength, learning to value only those who really mattered in your life. Even with all the difficulties, Sophia's every effort, every difficult step, every sacrifice she and her mother made strengthened her resilience and self-confidence. She began to understand that losing possessions and status did not diminish their dignity. On the contrary, it showed their courage, adaptability, and determination to create a true and meaningful life. And as she faced each day with courage, Sophia began to glimpse that the future, though uncertain, could bring new opportunities and hope. On a particularly difficult day, as Sophia held tightly to the handles of the crowded bus, she felt someone gently touch her arm. Looking up, she recognized Isabel, a former maid who had worked in her family's home before its collapse. Isabel's eyes shone with recognition and immediate empathy. Without hesitation, she offered her seat to Sophia, sensing the weight of fatigue and hardship her former employer now faced. The simple yet meaningful gesture filled Sophia's heart with emotion. She felt she wasn't alone, that there were people in the world capable of recognizing others' pain and offering genuine support. Isabel began to speak words of comfort, reminding her of her strength and courage. Sophia, life presents us with challenges to show us that we are stronger than we imagine. You will overcome this, I know. The words touched Sophia deeply. For the first time in weeks, she felt someone truly saw not only her situation, but also the person she still was, resilient, worthy, and full of potential. Isabel shared small stories of overcoming her own experiences, inspiring Sophia to believe that better days could indeed come. Before getting off the bus, Isabel carefully wrote down Sophia's number, asking them to stay in touch. If you need anything, call me. Don't let these difficult days make you forget who you are. The gesture, simple but full of humanity, was a powerful reminder that genuine support can emerge in the most unexpected places and transform hope into concrete strength. Sophia held the paper with Isabel's number and felt a wave of gratitude and emotion. The small support network that was emerging, based on solidarity and empathy, made her realize that even in the loneliest moments, we are not completely alone, and there are always hands outstretched to lift us up. At the end of the trip, with her heart warmed by the encounter, Sophia realized that every challenge I faced was setting the stage for new connections, unexpected support, and opportunities for emotional growth. Isabel not only offered him comfort in that moment, but also renewed his faith in human kindness and the ability to start over, even after so much loss. After meeting Isabel on the bus, Sophia felt a new strength blossom within her. Each day of work at the inn began to be approached with greater determination and courage. She began to realize that even when faced with difficult clients or acquaintances who ignored her, she could maintain her composure and be valued for her dedication and professionalism. This shift in perspective began to transform not only his day, but also the way he saw himself. Sophia learned to deal with demanding customers by remaining calm, patient, and genuinely smiling. Some rude customers who had previously irritated her now received attention and respect, and little by little, they began to recognize her efforts. Those small compliments became silent victories, reminding her that respect and recognition come with dedication and integrity, not with wealth or status. There were moments of frustration, of course, days when clients complained unfairly or when someone pretended not to know her, dismissing her current position. But Sophia had now learned to filter out destructive criticism, absorb only constructive lessons, and transform every difficult situation into an opportunity for personal and emotional growth. The young woman also began to notice that her demeanor and professionalism were generating silent admiration among coworkers and even clients. Small gestures of kindness and attention were noticed, and Sophia felt for the first time that her value did not depend on possessions, status, or the approval of others, but on who she was and the effort she put into each task. With this newfound confidence, Sophia began to face the challenges of everyday life with greater ease. Waking up early, dealing with long hours, facing crowded buses and difficult clients became bearable, because each step showed that she was rebuilding herself, strengthening her self-esteem, and creating a dignified and independent life. At the end of each day, returning to her mother's small apartment, Sophia felt proud of the quiet achievements she had accumulated. Every challenge overcome at work, every successful interaction, and every gesture of support received like Isabel's reinforced that she could, yes, transform her life, step by step, without needing the luxury she lost. And even exhausted, Sophia knew that life still held surprises that could make her journey even more meaningful. One afternoon, while Sophia was organizing the rooms at the inn, her cell phone rang. On the other end of the line, a familiar, warm voice came. It was Isabel, the family's former maid who had become a friend and confidant months ago. With warmth and enthusiasm, Isabel told her that she had a unique job opportunity, something that could transform Sophia's life and help her take an important step towards independence and dignity. Sophia felt her heart race. The offer wasn't just an ordinary job. It was a position that valued her skills, experience, and determination. She realized that life, even after so many falls, could still surprise with unexpected chances that opened doors to a better future. Nervousness mixed with hope, and she felt that this call could be the beginning of a new phase. Isabel explained that she knew people who trusted her and were willing to offer a safe and dignified work environment where Sophia could grow and demonstrate her skills. It was an opportunity to leave behind her life as a former employee and dependent, and enter an environment where effort, dedication, and character would be recognized and rewarded. The phone call brought a wave of emotions: anxiety, joy, fear of the unknown, and a growing hope she hadn't felt in months. Sophia realized that even in the face of difficulties, those who believe in us and offer us genuine support can completely change the course of our history. Before hanging up, Isabel reiterated that she had complete trust in Sophia and that this opportunity could open doors to a future she never imagined. Her words touched Sophia deeply, renewing her determination and courage. She was no longer alone, and there were still ways to rebuild her life with dignity and purpose. As she put her phone in her pocket, Sophia felt a mixture of emotion and gratitude. Every tear, every sacrifice, and every difficult day had prepared the ground for this moment. She took a deep breath, promising herself that I would take this opportunity too. One afternoon, as Sophia was resting after a long day of work at the inn, her cell phone rang. On the other end of the line came the warm, familiar voice of Isabel, the family's former maid and now her trusted friend. With enthusiasm and kindness, Isabel revealed that she had discovered something that could change Sophia's life. Her current boss's company needed someone with exactly the qualities and abilities that Sophia possessed. Isabel explained that she was well aware of Sophia's competence, dedication, and integrity, and that she couldn't pass up the opportunity to help her. She asked, with care and hope in her voice, "Would you be willing if I made the referral for you?" "I'm sure they'd be delighted with your work." Sophia's heart raced. She had never imagined anyone would see her that way. Even after all the losses and hardships she had faced, the opportunity wasn't just an ordinary job. It was the chance to work in an environment that recognized hard work, talent, and character. Sophia felt a mixture of anxiety and hope, remembering all the difficult days she'd endured on the bus, at the inn, and through the financial hardships. Now, a light of possibility appeared at the end of the tunnel. She could show her worth and rebuild her life with dignity. The phone call brought tears to Sophia's eyes. Isabel's friendship and trust touched her deeply, showing that even in times of crisis, genuine support and trust in others can open doors to a better future. She realized that her determination and daily effort had not gone unnoticed, and that unexpected opportunities could arise when least expected. Before hanging up, Isabel reinforced that she completely trusted Sophia and that she would make the recommendation immediately, believing that this could be the chance that changes everything, opening new paths and bringing renewed hope. Sophia felt gratitude and a growing inner strength, ready to face any challenge that came next. As she pocketed her phone, Sophia took a deep breath. Every tear, every sacrifice, and every small triumph in her past had prepared the ground for this moment. She promised herself that she would seize this opportunity with courage, dedication, and faith in her own ability, knowing that life still held surprises capable of completely transforming your story. A few days later, Sophia arrived at the company Isabel had recommended, feeling a mix of anxiety and hope. The imposing building reminded her of the luxurious times she had lost, but this time she was there not as the daughter of a rich family, but as someone willing to prove her worth with effort and dedication. Every step down the hallway felt charged with tension, but also with possibility. The first few days weren't easy. Sophia had to adapt to company rules, learn new procedures, deal with unfamiliar coworkers, and demonstrate her competence and commitment. Some viewed her with suspicion, others were impatient, but she remained focused and calm. Each small task completed perfectly reinforced her confidence and demonstrated that she was able to overcome any obstacle with dedication and courage. Soon, Sophia began receiving small compliments and recognition from her superiors. Each word of encouragement or smile of approval was like a balm to her self-esteem, reminding her that effort, integrity, and patience never go unnoticed in the face of challenges and silent comparison. She remained steadfast, proud of each victory she achieved, no matter how small it seemed. There were tense moments, especially when demanding clients or unexpected situations tested her reaction skills. Sophia discovered that the key was to remain calm, observe, learn quickly, and act with emotional intelligence. Each challenge overcome not only improved her professional performance, but also strengthened her, his confidence and the certainty that he was rebuilding his life step by step. Beyond work, she began to form sincere bonds with colleagues who respected her dedication. These small friendships became a support network, demonstrating that even in competitive environments, kindness, commitment, and authenticity attract respect and companionship. Sophia felt like she was finally finding a place where she could grow and be valued for who she was, not for what she had. At the end of each day, riding home on the crowded bus, Sophia felt a mixture of exhaustion and pride. Every challenge she faced and every achievement, no matter how small, were steps toward a life of dignity and independence. She knew there would still be obstacles, but now she was confident that I could face them because I was learning to turn difficulties into opportunities and pain into strength. Months passed since Sophia joined the company, and each day of effort and dedication began to pay off. She faced difficult clients, learned to deal with unexpected situations, and earned the respect of her colleagues and superiors. With each challenge she overcame, she felt herself grow, a quiet confidence and a certainty that he was rebuilding his life with dignity and purpose. One day, the director called her into his office. Sophia's heart raced, and a mixture of anxiety and hope coursed through her. With a warm smile, the director acknowledged her dedication, her leadership skills, and the exemplary way she dealt with clients and colleagues. Sophia had been promoted to sector manager. The moment was as unexpected as it was moving. Tears welled up in his eyes as he realized that every effort, every sacrifice, and every challenge he faced had been worth it. The promotion wasn't just a raise in salary or status. It was recognition of your strength. Resilience and competence. Sophia felt a mix of gratitude and pride, remembering the difficult nights on the bus, the silent tears she shed as she reflected on the past, and every small victory that kept her going. Every step she had taken since losing everything now seemed connected to this moment of achievement. With her new position, Sophia took on greater responsibilities, supervising colleagues and making important decisions. Despite the challenge, she faced each task with courage, using each difficult experience as a learning experience. She discovered that leading was not just about commanding, but about inspiring, supporting, and motivating those around you. The recognition also sparked admiration from former coworkers who now looked at her with respect and consideration. Sophia realized that true authority comes from competence, empathy, and the ability to turn challenges into opportunities, not past wealth or status. As she rode home that day on the crowded bus that now felt lighter, Sophia felt a mixture of happiness, gratitude, and hope. Every obstacle she had overcome had prepared her for this moment, and she knew that the future still held incredible surprises, which could only be achieved by those who did not give up in the face of pain and loss. As the months passed, her effort, dedication, and new managerial position began to bear fruit. Sophia saw her salary increase, her recognition grow, and her life gradually stabilize. But an old desire remained in her heart, to recover something that symbolized freedom and independence. Your car, the old vehicle that he had had to sell in times of crisis, still represented memories of a comfortable life. But now it also symbolized the ability to conquer again. After months of careful saving, planning, and hard work, the day finally arrived. Sophia walked into the dealership, her heart racing, and felt a mixture of nostalgia and victory. As she signed the papers and received the keys to her car, tears welled up in her eyes. It wasn't just a car. It was a symbol of your resilience, courage, and the rebuilding of your life step by step. Getting behind the wheel and driving through the city streets brought Sophia a sense of freedom she hadn't felt since before her family's downfall. Every kilometer she traveled reminded her of the hardships she had overcome, the crowded bus, the financial sacrifices, the nights of extreme exhaustion, and the silent tears. It had all been worth it, and now she could celebrate the triumph of those who did not give up, even in the face of adversity. The car also represented something bigger, Sophia's ability to care for herself and her mother, to honor her choices, and to no longer depend on the kindness of others. Every trip to work, every outing to run errands, reminded her that she was the master of her own destiny and could create a life of dignity, comfort, and autonomy. As she drove through the streets, she remembered Isabel's words and the small victories that had led her to that moment. Every challenge faced, every difficult client, every sacrifice on the bus, and every tear shed contributed to that moment of pure emotion and fulfillment. Sophia felt profound gratitude for her own courage and for those who supported her. Deep down, Sophie knew that the car was not just a material possession, but symbol of his inner strength and the promise that even after losing everything, it was possible to start over, rebuild, and prosper. Every time he drove, he felt like his life was back in his hands, ready to write new chapters of hope, achievement, and happiness. With the company's routine stabilized and confidence growing every day, Sophia began to work with new suppliers and business partners. One day, Alejandro, a newly arrived supplier in town, responsible for bringing in important materials for the department she managed. From the first contact, something sparked in Sophia, a mix of curiosity, admiration, and a sense of familiarity she couldn't explain. Alejandro was friendly, attentive, and had a demeanor that exuded confidence and security. During meetings and negotiations, he not only demonstrated competence, but also a sensitivity that made Sophia feel understood and valued. Little by little, between subtle laughter and genuine conversation, she began to blossom. A special connection that went beyond the professional. Sophia found herself eagerly awaiting her meetings with Alejandro, noticing small details that made her smile, the way he explained the processes, his care in understanding her needs, and the sincerity in every gesture. Each interaction seemed to reveal a new world where friendship, respect, and a slight emotional tension blended, awakening feelings she hadn't felt in a long time. Despite all her caution, Sophia felt she could trust him, and this brought a breath of hope to her heart. Life, which had previously seemed like just a series of challenges and overcoming, now showed a possibility for joy, connection, and even romance, something that seemed impossible after so many losses and disappointments in the past. Alejandro also seemed to notice Sophia's strength and determination, admiring her ability to lead, solve problems, and face difficulties without losing hope. This mutual admiration created a silent and intense bond, which both felt growing with each encounter, even amidst their professional routines. As she reflected on this new connection, Sophia felt a mixture of excitement and caution. She knew it was early, but she also realized that life was beginning to offer him surprises and possibilities for happiness, even after so many falls, reminding her that moments of pain can open space for encounters that transform someone's trajectory. As the weeks passed, Sophia and Alejandro's professional interactions began to take on a lighter, more relaxed tone. During meetings and company visits, conversations outside of work emerged, laughter shared, and glances that spoke volumes. Sophia felt something new blossoming in her heart, a sense of hope and joy she hadn't experienced in a long time. Alejandro also seemed attentive to every detail about Sophia, the way she solved problems, her dedication, and strength she conveyed even in times of pressure. Little by little, his small actions, a smile, a sincere question about her day, a gesture of care made Sophia's heart beat faster. She realized it wasn't just about attraction, but a genuine bond based on respect, admiration, and empathy. One day, at the end of a particularly long meeting, Alejandro surprised Sophia with a simple yet meaningful gesture. He brought her coffee and sweets to thank her for her hard work throughout the day. This seemingly small detail left Sophia feeling a mixture of surprise and emotion. She realized that life was giving space to moments of lightness, affection, and even romance, even in the midst of a busy routine and heavy responsibilities. Sophia began to realize that expecting the unexpected could bring joy and confidence. Each encounter with Alejandro was like a small break from the routine, a breath of hope that reminded her that even after so much loss, there were still opportunities for happiness and true connection. However, the young woman knew caution was needed. Her heart, though buoyant, still bore scars from the past losses, betrayals, and challenges that had shaped her strength and maturity. Even so, feeling that someone admired her for who she was, and not for what she had or had lost, was reawakening. An intense emotion and a feeling that life could become lighter and full of possibilities. As she reflected on this new connection, Sophia felt a mixture of excitement and anxiety for the future. With each encounter, each conversation, and each gesture of attention, the certainty Thatch was rebuilding not only her career, but also her emotional life, and the ability to trust and open herself to new relationships grew stronger. And deep down, Sophia began to believe that moments of pain and overcoming could open doors to encounters that transform lives in unexpected ways. A year has passed since Sophia met Alejandro. During that time, the two built a strong friendship based on respect, admiration, and small gestures of affection that warmed both their hearts. Each professional encounter turned into moments of closeness, sincere conversations, and shared laughter, creating a complicity that grew every day. One day, Alejandro surprised Sophia with a different request. He invited her to a meeting outside of work. The invitation brought a mixture of emotion, surprise, and joy to Sophia's heart. She felt that this gesture was not just a casual invitation, but the beginning of something significant. Without hesitation, she accepted, realizing that life was finally making room for happiness and love, even after so much loss. On the first day of their meeting, they both felt an immediate and natural connection. Conversations flowed, smiles were shared, and each other's presence brought comfort and lightness. Sophia realized that with Alejandro, she could be herself, without masks or concerns about status or the past. It was as if a new chapter of his life had begun, full of possibilities and hope. On that first day, they decided to start a story together, knowing that each step would be built with respect, care, and sincerity. There was no rush, just a desire to get to know each other and share moments, creating a solid foundation for a true relationship. Sophia felt a silent joy, realizing that the trust, patience, and courage to open up to love had been rewarded. Sophia's heart, once scarred by disappointment and loss, now pulsed with emotion and gratitude. Every smile from Alejandro, every thoughtful gesture, and every deep conversation reminded her that life, even after so many falls, could surprise with moments of genuine and lasting happiness. As they walked together after the meeting, Sophia realized that that day marked more than just a meeting. It was the beginning of a new beginning, not only in his professional and personal life, but also emotionally, proving that hope, perseverance, and the courage to move forward can completely transform someone's destiny. In the months that followed, Sophia and Alejandro continued to build their story with care and dedication. Each meeting, each conversation, and each gesture of affection strengthened their bond. Sophia felt a mixture of joy and gratitude, realizing that love could arise in a light and sincere way, even after so many losses and challenges. Alejandro was always attentive, offering support whenever Sophia faced challenges at work or in her personal life. He listened patiently, offered advice, and celebrated every small victory by her side. For Sophia, these simple gestures became signs that the trust and complicity that emerged were real and lasting. They began sharing dreams and plans, talking about trips, future projects, and small achievements they hoped to achieve together. Each conversation brought them closer together, showing that a true relationship is built with empathy, mutual support, and respect for individual experiences. Sophia felt that she could completely trust Alejandro, and this further strengthened her self-esteem and hope for the future. Even on the busiest and most challenging days, they found moments to be together. Whether sharing a simple dinner, a walk around town, or just chatting about their day. Every gesture, however small, had a profound meaning, showing that happiness can be in the details and in the genuine presence of others. Sophia and Alejandro's relationship became an emotional refuge, a safe space where they could be authentic and express their feelings without fear of judgment. Sophia realized that life could surprise you in a positive way when you have the courage to open up and believe in the possibility of starting over. As they walked together toward new conquests, Sophia felt that their love story was just the beginning of a cycle of joy, hope, and fulfillment. Every day with Alejandro reminded her that even after pain, loss, and challenges, life could bring genuine happiness, emotional reconnection, and the certainty that bright new chapters were yet to come. Over time, Alejandro began to share a long-held dream to open his own company. He wanted to create something that was the fruit of his own hard work and dedication. a project that reflected his values and vision for the future. As he shared his plans with Sophia, his eyes shone with enthusiasm and determination, and she felt a surge of emotion as she realized I was being invited to be part of something bigger, side by side with him. Alejandro not only shared the dream, but made a gesture that deeply touched Sophia's heart. He invited her to work with him, build the project together, and be partners in both life and business. The invitation was unexpected and moving, as it represented complete confidence in her abilities and the chance to transform not only their careers, but their entire life paths. Sophia felt a mixture of joy, pride, and excitement. Every challenge she had faced in the past, every difficulty she had overcome, seemed to have prepared the ground for this moment. She realized that life was now offering an opportunity for growth, success, and shared fulfillment, something that could only be built with courage and unity. Accepting the invitation, Sophia felt renewed enthusiasm. Starting a business alongside someone you admired, trusted, and loved was more than a professional opportunity. It was a chance to create a solid future where love, respect, and partnership walk side by side. Each meeting, planning, and decision became a learning and complicity experience, bringing them even closer together. The following days were filled with energy and excitement. Sophia and Alejandro worked together on every detail, sharing ideas, dreams, and strategies. Amidst laughter, challenges, and small achievements, they felt were building something that reflected not only their abilities, but also the trust, respect, and love that was growing between them. As they walked at the end of a busy day, looking at the progress they had made together, Sophia felt her heart overflow with gratitude and hope. Every sacrifice in the past, every silent tear, and every victory achieved had prepared her for this moment. She realized that together they could transform dreams into reality, and that true love is strengthened when it is built side by side, with courage, trust, and mutual dedication. As the months passed, Sophia and Alejandro's company began to take shape and gain important clients. Each contract signed, each successful project, and each accolade received was confirmation that joint effort, dedication, and mutual trust were bearing fruit. Sophia was proud of everything they had built, remembering every obstacle they had overcome to get there. With growth came the need to better structure the work. Sophia realized she needed someone she could trust to help her organize schedules, documents, and daily tasks. The idea of hiring a secretary came as a natural step to keep the company running efficiently and allow her and Alejandro to focus on strategic decisions and business growth. As she began the selection process, Sophia realized how each decision she made now carried weight and responsibility. She needed someone competent, trustworthy, and committed, who would become part of the team and help sustain the project she and Alejandro were building with such passion. It was a new but exciting challenge that made her feel thrill of growing professionally and personally at the same time. During the interviews, Sophia recalled the entire journey she had traveled, from her days as a maid at the inn, facing difficult clients and learning from scratch, to her promotion to manager and her partnership with Alejandro. Each stage had strengthened her leadership skills and strategic vision, demonstrating that she was ready to take on new challenges with confidence and maturity. When she found the ideal candidate, Sophia felt a quiet joy. It wasn't just about hiring someone, but about creating a team that shared the values, commitment, and positive energy that had made the company possible. The feeling of recognition and personal growth was mixed with the emotion of seeing a dream become concretely consolidated. As she reflected on her next steps, Sophia realized that every achievement from her first job to the company's expansion was the result of courage, resilience, and self-belief. She knew challenges would still arise, but she felt that I could face them with security, mutual support, and the certainty that I was building a full, dignified, and purposeful life. As Sophia and Alejandro's business grew, demand increased, and she realized she needed someone to help her organize schedules, documents, and daily tasks. As she considered how to find the right person, a reminder immediately popped into her mind. Isabel, the former maid who always supported her in difficult times. Sophia remembered how supportive Isabel had been during her most difficult times, offering words of comfort and even staying in touch even after the challenges. Without hesitation, she decided to call her and Makia a special invitation. The position of secretary in the company that she and Alejandro were building together. The gesture was not only professional, but also an acknowledgement of loyalty, affection, and trust that Isabel had always demonstrated. Upon hearing the proposal, Isabel was deeply moved. She felt valued and recognized not only as a professional, but also as a friend who had always believed in Sofia's potential. She accepted the invitation enthusiastically, knowing she could contribute significantly and be part of something important, built with effort, courage, and determination. Sofia felt a mixture of joy and excitement when she saw Isabel joining the company as part of the team. The feeling of retribution and gratitude warmed his heart, reminding her of all the difficulties she had overcome and how gestures of trust could transform lives. Now, she could not only grow professionally, but also welcome those who were by her side in the most difficult moments. During their first days working together, Isabel demonstrated competence and dedication, becoming an essential part of the company's organization. Sofia felt even more confident and motivated, realizing that mutual support and true partnership are essential to turn dreams into reality. As she watched Isabel enthusiastically take on her responsibilities, Sofia reflected on her own journey, from losing everything, to the daily struggle to survive, to building a life of dignity, love, and purpose. Every challenge faced, every sacrifice, and every victory prepared her for that moment of gratitude, success, and fulfillment. She knew that together they could achieve even more and turn every obstacle into an opportunity for growth and unity. As time passed, Sofia and Alejandro's company grew increasingly prosperous. Each successful project and each client gained was a testament to their hard work, dedication, and partnership. In this context of achievements and growth, Alejandro decided it was the perfect time to take an even more significant step in their lives. On a special night, surrounded by friends and family, he asked Sofia to marry him, and she said yes, emotionally feeling that life was finally smiling again. The wedding was a celebration of love, resilience, and overcoming. For Sofia, every detail represented not only her union with Alejandro, but also her achievement of a life rebuilt with courage and dedication. All the losses of the past, the disappointments and the sacrifices had led to a moment of complete happiness, showing that it is possible to start over and be rewarded for each step taken with determination. While her personal life flourished, the company also grew steadily. Isabel, the former employee who had been invited by Sofia to fill the position of secretary, began to stand out for her talent, dedication, and leadership skills. Over time, she became Sofia's right-hand man, taking on ever-increasing responsibilities and contributing directly to the success of the business. Sofia felt deep gratitude as she watched Isabel grow and take on prominent roles. It was proof that recognition, trust, and support can transform not only lives, but also careers and professional relationships. Their stories intertwined, showing that loyalty and dedication are always rewarded. Sofia's happiness was not limited to material or professional achievement. The true triumph lay in ability to overcome the past, transform challenges into opportunities, and build a life based on love, trust, and personal fulfillment. Each day was a silent celebration of courage, persistence, and hope. If you were moved by Sofia's story, share this video with friends and family who also need inspiration to start over. Remember, even after the greatest losses, it's possible to rebuild your life, find happiness and prosperity. Are you ready to write your own chapter of overcoming? The value of faith and hope. Sofia's life would not have achieved such transformation without the constant presence of faith. It was faith that sustained her when everything seemed to be falling apart. On nights of silence and pain, her hope was the only flame that still burned. It was not an illusory hope, but a deep conviction that something greater was being prepared for her future. In moments when discouragement seemed to overcome her, remembering the promises she made to herself gave her strength. Sofia believed that each tear she shed was not in vain, but rather watered the ground with new possibilities. Thus, even on the most difficult days, faith led her to believe that tomorrow would be different. Hope for her wasn't just passively waiting, but courageous action. It meant rising from failure, wiping away tears, and moving forward even when the path seemed cloudy. This attitude shaped her inner strength and transformed defeats into learning experiences. When faith and hope became the foundations of her life, everything began to change. Sophia realized she didn't control the timing of her rewards, but she could choose how to react to each challenge. It was in this choice that she found freedom and confidence. Each achievement, each victory bore the mark of perseverance sustained by faith. Her marriage, her business, and her friendship with Isabel were direct fruits of this journey. None of this would have happened if she had given up too soon. Thus, Sophia became a living example that hope never disappoints. Her story proves that the impossible can happen when one walks with faith, courage, and determination even after the greatest losses. Bonds that strengthen the journey. No one achieves life's greatest triumphs alone. Sophia understood this when she realized that Alejandro and Isabel were more than companions on her journey. They were pillars in her rebuilding process. Their love and the other's loyalty made each step firmer and more confident. Alejandro represented not just a life partner, but the hope of a future shared in trust. He saw in Sophia not the scars of her pain, but the beauty of her courage. His love was like a balm that healed the wounds of the past. Isabel, on the other hand, brought with her proof that gratitude and loyalty create indestructible bonds. Sophia opened the door for him, but it was Isabel who showed that recognition and dedication can build strong bridges. So they grew up together. These bonds revealed the importance of true relationships. They are like roots that sustain even in storms. When Sophia felt fragile, she found strength in the trust of those who stood by her side without expecting anything in return. The wedding was more than a celebration of love. It was also the consecration of friendship and partnership. Each person present symbolized an essential part of the journey that led to that moment. It was as if everyone shared in the victory. With this, Sophia understood that bonds built on sincerity remain unshakable. They become not only support in the present, but also a legacy of values that endure beyond life itself. The impact of courageous choices. Sophia's life was transformed because she decided not to be a victim of circumstances. Her choices were shaped by courage, even when fear surrounded her. Each decisive decision opened a new horizon before her. Starting over was never easy. Leaving the past behind required more than strength. It required courage. It required breaking free from painful memories and believing that something better awaited her. Sophia chose to free herself from what held her back. It was through this courage that opportunities arose that changed her life. The decision to give love another chance, to trust Alejandro, opened doors to a fulfilling life. Likewise, choosing to trust Isabel transformed her business into an even bigger project. Every act of courage was also an act of faith. Sophia knew there were no guarantees, but she believed that taking risks was better than remaining stagnant. Her choices showed that fear only has power when it is given authority. The results didn't appear overnight. They were steady steps, often accompanied by uncertainty. Even so, the conviction that he was on the right path sustained his journey to his most significant victories. Today, her journey inspires because it reveals that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite it. Sophia has become a symbol of how bold choices shape destinies. Inspiration for new generations, Sophia's story isn't just hers. It's an invitation for others to believe in new beginnings and the strength that comes from persistence. Each of her achievements carries a universal message. It's possible to turn losses into victories. New generations find in her example a guide to face their own challenges. Sophia didn't have an easy path, but she showed that it's possible to write new pages with faith and courage. Her journey has become a source of inspiration. Parents and children, co-workers and friends, everyone can learn from her story. She teaches that giving up should never be the first option. The real secret lies in getting back up after each fall, carrying with it the learning and renewal. This inspiration isn't limited to her personal life. It also extends to her professional life, as Sophia demonstrated that leadership is built on empathy, recognition, and courage. Her company has become a reflection of her values of perseverance. Thus, Sophia's every step echoes as a testament to those around her. She's not just a woman who overcame pain, but someone who proved it's possible to flourish amidst adversity. For future generations, his legacy is clear. Never underestimate the power of faith and dedication. These are the values that create stories that remain alive in the hearts of those who hear them. A legacy of love and overcoming in the end. Sophia's greatest legacy isn't in material possessions or achievements. Her true legacy is a life marked by love, resilience, and unwavering faith in times of darkness. This legacy belongs not only to his family, but to all who witnessed his transformation. Everyone who followed his journey saw firsthand the strength born of courage and hope. The love she shared with Alejandro, the friendship she cultivated with Isabel, and her dedication to her work were seeds that bore abundant fruit. These fruits became proof that goodness always finds a way to multiply. More than that, Sophia left the mark that new beginnings are always possible. No matter how many times life throws you for a loop, there's always a new chance to get up and rebuild. Her story reflects this principle. Sophia's legacy inspires those who seek not just external achievements, but a life full of meaning. It shows that true triumph lies in the ability to transform pain into strength. Thus, his journey will be immortalized as an example of love, courage, and resilience. A story that resonates beyond his generation, inspiring everyone to believe that the impossible can happen.